Weapons, 2025, is a horror and mystery film that takes place in a small town called Maybrook, Pennsylvania. Everything seems normal at first, but one night, something strange happens that changes the town forever. At exactly 2:17 in the morning, 17 children from the same third-grade class suddenly walk out of their homes. They do not scream, cry, or tell their parents where they are going. They move like they are in a trance, almost like they are sleepwalking, and they vanish into the night. Parents wake up to find their children gone, and panic spreads quickly. Everyone searches, but there are no signs of where the children went or who might have taken them. The strangest part is that only one child from the class does not disappear. A boy named Alex Lilly. Because he is the only one left, the town begins to wonder why he was spared, and what makes him different. Since all the children are from the same class, people start to suspect their teacher, Justine Gandy. Justine is a caring teacher who has always tried her best to look after her students, but people are scared and angry and they need someone to blame. Rumors spread quickly that she might have had something to do with the disappearances. The school places her on leave while the investigation continues. Justine is heartbroken. She feels responsible even though she knows she did not cause this. She becomes desperate to understand what happened and starts to look for answers on her own. When she notices Alex and his family acting strangely, her suspicion grows. Alex's house is unusual, with newspapers taped over the windows to block out light. His parents behave in odd, stiff ways, almost as if they are hiding something. Justine senses that the key to the mystery lies with Alex and his family. One of the missing children's parents is Archer Graff. He is devastated when his child disappears. Archer becomes frustrated with the police, who are making little progress. He feels powerless, and his grief turns into anger. At first, he directs his rage at Justine and the school. But soon, Archer begins to experience disturbing visions and dreams. In these dreams, he sees an old woman with painted clown-like makeup. She feels threatening, like she is watching him even when he is awake. Later, Justine admits she is having the same visions. Both of them realize that something supernatural may be behind the children's disappearance, something far more sinister than a normal crime. While police continue searching without success, a local homeless man named James stumbles upon the truth. James, who is addicted to drugs and often sneaks into houses looking for food or valuables, breaks into the Lilly home one night. He expects to find money or something to steal, but instead, he makes a horrifying discovery. In the basement of the house, all 17 missing children are there. They are alive, but they are not acting like normal children. They are silent, motionless, and unresponsive, as if they are trapped inside their own bodies. It looks as though they are under a spell. Terrified, James escapes and later tells others what he saw. This confirms that Alex's house is at the center of the mystery. But how did the children get there, and why are they in such a frozen state? The movie then reveals the real villain, Gladys, Alex Lilly's great-aunt. At first, she seems like a harmless old woman who simply lives with the family. But in reality, Gladys is a witch-like figure with powerful supernatural abilities. She has been practicing dark rituals for years. Using personal items from each child, such as toys, bits of hair, or pieces of clothing, she cast a spell that pulled them to her house and trapped them in the basement. She has also enchanted Alex's parents, controlling them like puppets so they cannot resist her. Gladys feeds on life energy. She drains it from others to keep herself alive and powerful. That is why the children are kept alive but catatonic. They are her source of strength. Her powers are not limited to the children. She also reaches into the dreams of adults like Justine and Archer, haunting them with visions to weaken their spirits. The film's title, Weapons, comes from this idea. People, especially the children, are turned into tools or weapons for Gladys's will. They lose their freedom and become instruments of her dark magic. After James's discovery, Justine and Archer decide to act. They cannot wait for the police any longer. They go into the Lily house to confront Gladys and rescue the children. The house feels eerie and suffocating, covered in shadows and strange symbols. Inside, they meet Alex's parents, who are completely under Gladys's control. A violent fight breaks out, and in the chaos, both parents are killed. James also becomes involved again, but is caught in the struggle and dies as well. Finally, Justine and Archer face Gladys herself. She is far more terrifying up close, filled with unnatural rage and strength. She does not just fight with her hands, she attacks their minds. Gladys uses her enchantment to turn Archer against Justine. Under her spell, Archer begins attacking his own ally, nearly killing her. It seems Gladys is unstoppable. At this critical moment, help comes from an unexpected place: Alex Lilly, the boy everyone suspected. Throughout the movie, Alex has seemed strange and quiet, almost distant. But now it becomes clear why he is different. Unlike the other children, Alex has some resistance to Gladys's power. She cannot fully control him, and he has managed to hold on to part of his free will. Alex realizes that the only way to defeat Gladys is to use her own magic against her. He manages to get a lock of her hair and performs a ritual similar to hers. But instead of enslaving others, his ritual reverses the enchantment. The spell binding the children begins to break. They wake up, no longer frozen, and their voices and movements return. When the children are freed, they are filled with anger at what was done to them. They turn on Gladys, the woman who stole their freedom and drained their lives. In a frightening and powerful scene, the children chase her through the neighborhood. The hunter becomes the hunted. Gladys, who once controlled them, now has no power. Surrounded and overpowered, she is torn apart by the very children she tried to enslave. With her death, the spells collapse. Archer is freed from her control. Alex's parents are released from enchantment, though it is too late for them, and the children are no longer trapped. The nightmare seems to be over, but the scars remain. The children are returned to their families, but they are not the same. Many of them are deeply traumatized. Some cannot speak. Others are still catatonic, unable to function normally. Their parents are relieved but heartbroken, knowing that recovery will take years, and some wounds may never heal. Alex does not get a happy ending either. His parents, who were controlled by Gladys, are sent to a mental institution, leaving him without a family to care for him. He moves away to live with another aunt, hoping for a fresh start in a new place. Justine, though cleared of suspicion, carries heavy guilt and sadness from everything that happened. Archer, free from enchantment, must live with the memory that he attacked Justine and nearly killed her while under Gladys's influence. The film closes on an unsettling note. The villain is gone, but the damage she caused will last forever. The people of Maybrook will always remember the night their children vanished, and the survivors will always carry the scars. Though Weapons tells a story about witches and supernatural powers, it also explores real human themes. It shows how fear and grief can tear apart a community. When the children first disappeared, the town quickly looked for someone to blame, turning on Justine even though she was innocent. This reflects how people often react to tragedy by blaming others rather than working together. The film also raises questions about control and free will. Gladys takes away people's ability to choose for themselves, turning them into her weapons. This is terrifying because it shows how people can be manipulated, abused, and used against their will. The children in particular symbolize innocence being stolen and twisted for evil purposes. Alex's role is also meaningful. At first, he is seen as suspicious, even creepy, because he did not disappear like the others. But in the end, he becomes the hero who saves everyone. This shows that even those who seem weak, strange, or unimportant can have great strength. Alex's resistance proves that individuals can fight back against control and abuse, even when the odds seem impossible. Finally, the movie suggests that evil is not always something far away or obvious. Sometimes it lives in the home, hidden in plain sight, disguised as family. Gladys is not an outsider, but part of Alex's household, showing that danger can come from the people we trust most. Weapons, 2025, is a chilling story that mixes supernatural horror with human drama. It begins with a mystery, the disappearance of children, and ends with the destruction of the villain who caused it all. But the real horror is not just Gladys's magic. It is the way she destroys trust, steals freedom, and leaves scars that cannot be healed. The story reminds us that sometimes the scariest monsters are not the ones hiding in the shadows, but the ones who take control of our minds and hearts. In the end, Alex and the other children survive, but they will never be the same. The town of Maybrook, too, will carry the memory of this nightmare forever. Weapons is about horror, but also about survival, resilience, and the cost of facing evil.